use the pin device they've given you and then push in, and after that it will slide out a little piece, and here you'll see the micro SIM slot. Take out the micro SIM from the actual thing. Oops, sorry, I dropped it. Okay, here we are. Let's just put that in. Okay, you put it in, secure it. You take out the little bit of the little. There we go. Put it in, face down, and then put it into the phone. Secure it in, then turn it on, and it should be starting up.
The Samsung Galaxy A3, is it a phone to get? Well, this phone, when I got it at SIM free, is £150. Now, that's an okay deal, but for this phone, I would have expected a lower price. But in itself, it is not a bad phone. I'll say a few of the pros of it. So one of the pros is that it has a much nicer, sleeker UI, right? Before, when I used to see Samsung devices, they had terrible UIs. The TouchWiz over it was terrible. But now they've like shortened it down a lot, and it's way smoother than before. And that's something I really like. Number two is its clicky interference. So what I like is when you touch these capacitive keys, it makes a really nice noise to it, and you know, it just feels really clicky and it works and fluid that other Samsung devices I fail to even do. Another thing is the build quality. The build quality is actually pretty good on this. It's not a removable back, which is a shame, but that's what the A3 kind of stand for, is the full metal aluminum body, but it is quite like a nice feeling device. As in terms of build quality, this is a really nice. I have the Samsung Galaxy S3 I'm still using, which is a plastic body, but this one is a metal body, and that is something that could win you over, and it's really nice to hold in the hand. But I would say get some sort of skin or a cover for this. You know, phones easily break these days. But yeah, so also the cameras in it are also shoot pretty nice, decent pictures. I wouldn't criticize too much on the camera qualities or anything like that. However, there are a few cons to this. So one of them is being the camera being protruding like this. So it's, if you can see, it's slightly outside of the actual phone. So when you rest it on a, so what happens is it could easily get scratched, and that's an issue because you don't want your camera to get scratched. Like, it's a new phone, you don't want it to get scratched. So for something like doing this, it's not the best thing to do, because especially if you drop it sideways, the first thing that's going to hit is the camera and not the actual back. So in that respect, I'm kind of disappointed they did something like that. I've seen iPhones starting to do that as well. I don't really understand the logic behind it, but I would tell people to go back to the original ways of doing it, where it's like in line with the actual phone. It could be because they wanted to make the phone thinner, because it is quite thin, but still, I would prefer a slightly thicker phone, and you put the camera is in line with the actual body. Another thing is the speaker. So the speaker there's only one at the back right here. Now, I'm not going to be too pedantic on the speakers because phones these days, especially in the budget range, tend to have speakers at the back like that. But there are some phones which have done a good job of putting front-facing speakers, such as the Moto G. Third generation and second generation have done this. So in that respect, like, having a back speaker isn't ideal at all, especially because phones are moving into the front-facing speaker era, and so kind of stop this right now, Samsung. But shouldn't be a big deal, because the phone, most of the times you're going to use it on the headphones. I'm not too keen on the headphone placing being at the bottom. I prefer it to be at the top, because if it's at the bottom, it can go over the screen sometimes, or something. I just prefer it at the top, but that's just a little thing I didn't really like. What else? Yeah, I don't really have PPI as well. It's not the sharpest screen in the world, but it is a nice looking screen. It's not like it's around, I think, 260 something PPI, but I wouldn't be too like disheartened with that. In general, in my review, I would say you should get this product if it's at a cheaper price. I would get this product at, for me, I would say this product should be around 120 kind of range, 120, 100 pounds kind of range. 150 is a bit more to ask than it should. An actual price sometimes in SIM free is 200 pounds, but 100 pounds for this phone would be an ideal phone, and it has a pretty nice build quality, pretty nice screen. It's got the looks of a phone that you should want as a primary, like as your first ever phone you could get, and this is a really nice looking device, and it's made me actually start appreciating Samsung, because my one is from S3 is quite a few years back, but I updated my ROM, so that's fine now. But seeing what Samsung has done with the UI has really made me happy, because it's showing that Samsung has been listening to people and starting to look over it and start to make the UI much nicer and more sleek and less cluttery with the the touch UI. It's still there, but it's not as in your face and slows down the whole kind of phone. So that's something I really liked about the phone. Overall, yes, that's well, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this review. So I would say yes to buy it, as you know, at the certain price points I gave you. Anyways, random help over and out, and I'll see you next time. See ya.